Hey, welcome to the Virtually Speaking podcast. My name is Pete Flecha, and joining me as always is my good friend, Mr. John Nicholson. John, how you doing, buddy?
Good. I'm so excited about this VCF 9. I'm trying to get my home lab updated, and I was like, I need to get some more storage going.
Yeah. What kind of storage do you have now?
Well, I bought some used Optane drives, but I'm looking at these. I'm also looking at some of these really fancy, there's some just cosmically giant flash devices that I don't even think there's tape this big.
Nice. Well, you're going to have to take care of your lab. You're going to have to get it deployed. You're going to have to get it managed. You're going to have to, provide it to all these consumers out there. But you're also going to have to protect it, John. Man, this is a dangerous world out there. So we're talking cyber resilient private clouds today. And joining us for the conversation is our good friend, Mr. Rakesh. Rakesh, welcome back.
Thank you, folks. Great to be here.
Yeah, Rakesh, so, VCF 9 just came out this week, and as you know, we're doing a full walkthrough of all the various components that make up vSAN, all of the different use cases, and we definitely want to talk about primary storage specifically, and later we can dive into how vSAN positions itself for not only primary storage, but all use cases out there. So maybe you can just kick off with primary storage. What is the key use case for primary storage from VCF perspective?
All right, I'm going to steal a line from my best friend, John here. vSAN in the primary storage with VCF is both exciting and boring. It's exciting because now vSAN has grown to become the #1 storage platform for all VMware workloads in the strategic customer segment. So that's huge. It's overtaken every other vendor out there. Why is it boring? Because it just works.
Yeah.
Right? So one of the big reasons for why vSAN has grown so rapidly in the primary storage segment with VCF is that when you deploy VCF, all you do is you check a box. You say, do you want vSAN? You turn it on. It just works.
Yeah.
Right? So boring is good sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. So what other opportunities are there besides primary storage? I mean, that's the big one, and I love the simplification of it. I love that it's actually integrated into the platform. It's a huge benefit. But what other options are there?
Exactly. So when you look at the storage market, right, for every copy of primary storage that a customer has, they need to retain 4 additional copies for what we call secondary storage, for use cases such as backup, DR, archive, cyber recovery, right? All of this falls under the cyber recovery, cyber resiliency segment. So what we see is there's a huge opportunity out there for us to expand vSAN into that secondary storage market, specifically for use cases around cyber resiliency.
Well, it's interesting because I feel like when I first heard the term secondary storage, I'm like, oh, what is that, like tape or something? Like that's where Iron Mountain hides that copy of data I hope I never see, right? Yeah. But it sounds like there's a bit more I/O activity going on with this stuff.
Yeah, a lot more, right? It's about how you back up your data, how do you enable all these different use cases to protect your data. You protect a site from a site failure. You protect, if you fat finger a VM, you need to recover it from your backup. And most importantly now, top of mind for every CIO is what happens when you have a malware attack on the primary site. You need to instantly recover it from a secondary site, and those are the use cases that we are embarking into.
So to go into these use cases, obviously, we've built out all these data services for the primary use case and things like that, the encryptions, the compressions, and all that, so forth, then provisioning. What's different about secondary storage? What features do you need to build going down that pathway?
Yeah, first of all, when we launched our new generation of vSAN a couple of years ago, which is called the vSAN Express Storage Architecture, we did it with a view of entering this segment as well, right? The architecture of vSAN, what it was founded on, vSAN ESA, lends itself very well to expanding into the secondary storage market. So the key capabilities are things like, disaggregated storage. Customers need to be able to disaggregate storage from compute and store large copies of backup and
archive and test and all that stuff. It all scales so differently.
Scales so differently at a low cost, right? That's one. The second one is you need to have snapshots as a first-class citizen in the product, right? It's all where we differentiate compared with any other vendor out there is that we are very VM-centric in everything that we do. We are app-centric. Yeah? You protect an app, you protect a VM. We don't do LUNs, right? And then map those back to a VM.
Yeah, I heard a friend say LUNs suck a long time ago. I think that's an old term we use. Yeah,
exactly. Okay, and the third thing is obviously to do all of this cool stuff, we need advanced workflows for backup, DR, and cyber recovery, and we have all that built into the product right now. So these are the foundational pieces. So for disaggregated storage, we have vSAN Max. For the VM-centric management, we have what we call vSAN Snap Manager that we launched a couple of years back.
Yep.
And then, like I said, we have all the workflows in place. So this is prime time for us to address all these new use cases and workflows with secondary storage.
So yeah, you've got those storage-only clusters that we can build on top of. We've got that Snap, and now we've got the replication and the automation and the orchestration on top of
Exactly, yes. So let me give you a sneak peek of what the solution looks like. It's really cool, right? So when vendors out there look at cyber recovery, they think of it purely from just a storage perspective, right? But what VMware offers you with VCF is the entire private cloud. So what we offer you is an end-to-end cyber recovery solution that not only provides you storage for storing all your backups and things like that, but it essentially it allows you to automate and create a cyber vault, right? Which is we can expose through a native object interface or a file interface. And then through our advanced assets in compute and networking, we can actually allow customers to create a push button clean room. So push a button, you create a clean room. A clean room is where you isolate all your snapshots such that when you have a malware attack, you can go in there, inspect those snapshots and
find that clean room.
Find that clean room, right? And we do this through our advanced technologies such as VPC, NSX VPC, and we have integration with EDR tools that allow us to do that. And then, like I said, on top of that, we have all these cool workflows. It's all automated that you can use to inspect and recover from a malware attack. So this is a sneak peek of the solution that we are offering. It's very differentiated because, again, like I said, we are looking at protecting your entire private cloud. It's not just a small storage-centric view. It's the whole holistic view. How do we automate the entire process? That's what you get with VCF.
And VPCs, NSX from an NSX perspective, we're always outside of the interface and managed differently. So are you saying this is all just managed inside of vCenter?
Absolutely, because one of the first things we did with VCF last year is we brought all of those NSX capabilities into VCF, right? So it's all one integrated product right now, and those are the building blocks for us to create this automated clean room and things like that.
Well, I like here that you can easily test this disaster recovery, because I feel like a lot of people have Schrodinger DR. It might work, it might not. It might take 3 days to figure out the networking. But we can test on a regular basis.
You can test. You can create runbooks, right? We can automate the whole a DR scenario before it actually happens. So when you are hit with DR, you're ready. You're ready to go. It's all there.
This is good. So we've talked about software code a lot, and this is fun because I've known you a long time, and I remember the very early days when I first met you, we had two PMs. We had one who did vSAN software, and then we had one who did hardware. Yes. And you were the hardware guy. Like our first conversations were about HBAs and firmware, and very boring things.
Absolutely.
DIMMs.
But there's been a lot of software. What's new in hardware?
I love telling people that all problems in storage are a hardware problem. Because we solve everything in software anyways as VMware. Okay, just kidding. But on the hardware side, right? I think the biggest shift that we are seeing right now is that there are large, cheap and deep devices, flash devices. They're called QLCs, right? And if you actually go to the market right now and go with one of the top vendors, you'll see that the $ per gig for a QLC is actually lower than what you would get with a magnetic drive, right? So in the future, I think QLCs become the gold standard to enable use cases for DR, archiving, cyber resiliency, and so on and so forth, because it's cheap and deep storage, and we have all the software magic that we've built in to be able to manage these QLCs going forward.
Well, I feel like we were just pushing some of the limits of hybrid architectures. I recently witnessed a large scale, they accidentally deleted 70 terabytes of databases, and they were having to restore that, and it initially went fast because it was on like a hybrid type system backed by magnetic, and then it hit the slow disk, and it was like 6 hours to get everything out. And they're like, I like this whole concept. It looks like you're looking at basically building like a flash to flash.
Flash to flash, exactly. I think the future is flash, obviously. And now with QLCs, you can even address those magnetic drive use cases that you couldn't in the past, because
especially with the compression and the deduplication on top of it.
On top of it, all the cool capabilities that we've built in on top of that. Yeah, that's right.
So what's next? What are we going to build on top of this? I mean.
Okay, so I think
this is public, by the way, so we don't want to share too many secrets. So
no, it's fine. I think,
but if you're building like a low cost secondary, like what are the other use cases?
I think the other use case would really be like expanding to unstructured data, to expanding this cheap and deep storage to provide a native object interface and expose that as objects. And again, at the end of the day, some people think that the main use cases for file and object is DR and backup and so on and so forth. But it's not just that. You can expand to many other use cases for which you need unstructured data, even primary storage.
No, you talk to these AI work people and they're like, I need 10 petabytes for just the general apps and the normal environment. Okay, fine, we got you there covered.
Absolutely.
I've got 4 exabytes of training data. Oh, no, please no, please no.
So a combination of our software with an object interface running on top of this cheap and deep QLC devices is ideal for those training workloads, right? That's where the industry is headed, and I think that we are primed to address that market.
And these new native, these containerized apps and all these things, they're just looking for S3 link.
They are just looking, and they're looking for programmatic storage.
Yep.
So historically, it's not just like you're not just dumping all this storage into S3. This is programmatic storage where
the CSI,
the end user can directly communicate with storage without having to file an IT ticket, right? That's where the world is headed, and we are primed to support those use cases.
That makes sense. We already have that for block and file, so.
And now it's object, yeah.
Man, absolutely. And to steal John's term once again, this is all exciting and boring at the same time, and that is good news.
Exactly. All right. So if you have more boring sessions, please call me.
Will do, Rakesh. Thanks for joining us.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Pleasure.